This episode of Android Weekly is brought to you by your mama, because none of us would have our favorite Android phones without our mothers. Go hug your mama. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome back to Android Weekly. My name is Jason. This past week saw some interesting news about a new Samsung tablet line, a new Huawei phone, and even news about the HTC One Mini 2. That's right, they're allegedly going to go and call it the HTC One Mini 2, proving that the person responsible for titling such phones has a master's degree in Chinglish. Please, carefully bang your head. Yes, that's right, the ever-reliable EV-Leaks has provided us the first credible image of the new HTC One Mini 2. There are three color options available: gunmetal, silver, and gold. While the plastic rim around the device is still present, it's much less than on the previous HTC One. We also don't have any detailed specifications on the Mini 2, but the image above suggests that the screen may be larger than 4.3 inches. There is also no depth sensor on the device, so it's very likely that HTC opted for a conventional 13 megapixel sensor for the camera. Moving on to news about a leak from Sam Mobile, which suggests that Samsung is about to launch a new tablet line titled Galaxy Tab S. The first two devices in the series will be the Galaxy Tab S 8.4 and the Galaxy Tab S 10.5, both of which will feature a 2560 by 1600 AMOLED display. So why are these AMOLED displays a big deal? It's because AMOLED, as exemplified in the Galaxy S5, is emerging as the best technology for displays thus far. Hopefully we will see this type of AMOLED display go mainstream. Moving on to good news about Google Maps and those of us who need help with lane changes. Google Maps is getting a pretty big update today, adding a significant number of new features, including Uber integration. If you need transit or walking directions and have the Uber app installed on your device, in select cities of course, then the Uber option will appear and offer you the estimated trip times for a car service. Google Maps on mobile will now show you upcoming lane information when you're using turn by turn, and the updates include lane guidance and an easier access to alternative routes. Now what this means, and what I'm most excited about, is the fact that Google Maps will now tell you when you need to change lanes to prepare for the next cutoff. So currently, Google will announce, in 800 meters, turn left, or in 800 meters, take this cutoff. But if you're on, Highway 401 in Ontario is huge. It's like 4 lanes in many cases, and you're on the far left lane and you have to get to the right in 800 meters, that may not be enough. So it gives you a warning when to change lanes, and it's a much safer way to use the navigation tool. Moving on to news about a new phone from Huawei, and it's looking pretty impressive. This past week at a press event in Paris, Huawei introduced its latest and greatest flagship Android device, the Ascend P7. The brand new Ascend P7 is largely an evolutionary update from last year's Ascend P6, but that's not a bad deal at all, especially since Huawei brought enough improvements to the table to make it worth upgrading. The Ascend P7 features a 5-inch display with a quad-core processor running at 1.8 gigahertz, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage. It does have a micro SD card slot. The battery is 2500 mAh with a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera and an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. It of course will come out of the box running Android 4.4. Now the big question is price, and I was hopeful that it would be a much more affordable phone, but it turns out it's going to be launching at $625 in US dollars or $450 in euros. So we'll see how it goes. It's a heavily modded phone, but I did get my hands on the P6 last year, and it's very elegant. It was very thin and it felt fantastic in the phone. We'll see how it works out. If any of you have this phone or get it, I want to hear about it in the comments. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, Android Army. My name is Jace, and you see this here? Google Plus and Twitter. Connect with me. I love to read your comments and app replies. I do a pretty good job at responding to many of them, especially if your comment or question has not been shared before. Don't want to forget about my brothers in Android, Josh, Joe, and the Tech Ninja Kevin, Lon, and Chris, pumping out some great content for you. And many of you will want to know who won the t-shirt contest from last year. It was Hugo. Hugo's from Portugal, and we've already sent out the t-shirt to him. Hugo got that tiny little hint of text that I hid in one frame of the video to explain what the bug fix clue is what it was. And wow, he got it in like 8 minutes after the video was published. I'm gonna make it even harder, crazy hard for next week. And you wanna watch next week's Q&A because there's some big news coming up. We're gonna try and answer, or we found a way to answer many more questions, and we're gonna need your help with that. Talk to you soon.